Welcome to the Target Business Intelligence and Analytics Platform web demonstration. Today we are going to take you on a harbor cruise of Target's latest 2013 release, and I am going to demonstrate how Target can be used throughout your organization and allow you to take action on your managed data by visualizing and analyzing your KPIs in clear graphs and dynamic tables. You can automate your reporting tasks and use the extra time for optimizing your operations. Your data will finally be able to add real value to your business. Target BI and Analytics Platform will work with any data source that you have. And with the pre-configured, ready-for-use analytical packages, you also get an instant return on your investment with Target. Target is the leader in business intelligence and analytics for NAV and AX users. The Target Business Intelligence solution can be used with a web client, with a Windows client, a mobile device, and also includes a desktop widget. That's what I'm looking at right here. It's an easy way to gain instant visibility into the KPIs that are most important to you. This type of functionality is ideal for an executive or a manager who doesn't want to comb through a variety of reports or open up multiple applications to view what's going on within their business operations. Target Desktop can make you aware of what's happening in your business around the clock. You can add any object you like to the Target Desktop, like the icons I have here are looking into my sales and operational trends. Here I'm looking at my sales team performance, and if I want to take a closer look at any one of these gauges, I can launch Target right from here. Right now I'm looking at a full-blown dashboard of my sales team performance. I have a very clean portal look and feel. This is ideal for any executive or manager. Here I have folders where I can keep some of my most important reports and analysis. So if I wanted to drill down and find out what's going on, even down to a transaction level within any of my key operations within my business, I have these reports and dashboards right here at my fingertips. I can also have a link to our SharePoint portal or perhaps an external facing website, just like I've got a link to our website here. And I also have the ability to leverage a criteria bar, which allows me to filter down different dimensions and maybe drill down a little bit further into any report or any analysis that I might be looking at. For instance, I can sort this sales team performance dashboard by different departments, companies, or subsidiaries that I might be running. I can also maybe make this a little bit more relevant. So if I wanted to look at what's going on with my sales team performance, say within just the last full 3 years of my business, I'm going to select 2010 through 2012. And when I do so, you will notice that all of these objects on the screen are automatically going to update. All of these objects are linked and hyperrelated to one another. If I wanted to drill down into the performance of any one of my sales staff or items that I go to market with, all I need to do is click on that, and you will notice, for instance, if I click on Linda Martin's name, everything on this analysis that I'm looking at is going to update only to tell me what's going on with Linda Martin. I can see her sales per posting period is running a little bit flat right now, in fact, even trending down. A very unique feature within Target is this information eye right here. And anywhere you're in Target, you can hover your mouse over this information eye, and it's going to tell you the exact criteria of what you're looking at within that analysis. So it confirms that I'm looking at just the numbers for Linda Martin here. So you don't have the same challenges that are typically associated with other BI tools or just working within Excel or that pivot table look and feel. If I wanted to see what's going on with anybody else on the sales force, for instance, John Roberts, I can just click on John Roberts' name and everything automatically updates. So I can see off the bat that it looks like he's only got 12% of the sales here, but his profit margin is hovering just under 30%. Whereas if I toggle back to Linda Martin, she's leading the pack as far as my sales is concerned, but it looks like her profit margin is dipping way below what I would like it to be. And I can also see that she's only selling into one particular client. If I ever wanted to benchmark Linda against anybody else, it's very easy to do that. I would just select who I'm looking at And all of a sudden, I'm looking at the benchmarking between John Roberts and Linda Martin. So the evidence is really clear as day here that I believe some type of corrective measures might need to be taken to try to take a look at the profit margin and Linda Martin's work and maybe see if we can improve that. This might be as far as an executive would want to go with this particular analysis. If I wanted to, say, email this off to a business analyst or maybe a sales manager, to do that, all I need to do is hit this file button and click this little email icon. And what's going to happen is that Target already took a snapshot of where I was. This is the email that I can send out to one of my business analysts. They could open up this attachment and be looking at the same world truth that I was looking at within my analysis. I'm just going to actually send this off to myself, and I'm just going to hit send. And I'm going to close down Target right now. I want to kind of pick up things where I left off from that handoff between the, say, the president or the VP of the company actually delivering this email to a business analyst or maybe a sales manager. So if I go into my inbox right here, I can see the attachment that was sent. So this is that same snapshot that my executive was looking at, and also the criteria associated with this particular object is populated in the email as well. So the executive really didn't even have to type up a note. I could look at this criteria, I can see the posting period that we're looking at, and I can certainly see Linda Martin is highlighted here with this pretty bad trend as far as profit margin. So what I can do if I have access to Target is I can review this analysis directly in Target by just hitting the review button. And what this is going to do is take me into Target at that same place and time that the executive left it. And here I am in that same analysis. Now, I know that I need to take a look at Linda Martin, so let's just really kind of focus in on what's going on with her. And I can see that she's definitely kind of trending a little bit down. And I also have some visibility here into these same time periods. So what I want to do is filter in on these same time periods. And when I focus in on Linda Martin, I can see that my smiley face up here is actually more of a frowning face. If I click on this, it says that I'm sad because my sales per month, per posting period is decreasing. So I want Target to show me. And what that's going to do is automatically add another object into this analysis. And I can certainly kind of see where this is beginning to trend down a little bit. If I wanted to toggle behind the numbers of this graphical representation, I can just toggle from this chart. And as I scroll through here, it really does become quite evident that surely quarter after quarter, it looks like she's trending just a little bit down on each one of these. If I select, say, another sales rep, if I wanted to take a look at maybe what's going on with John Roberts, I can see that he's actually upticking a little bit. And if I wanted to look at that graph, I could do that. So there's no doubt I need to try to find out what's going on with Linda Martin. Even though her sales are still at the top of the board, I really need to try to find out what's going on with this profit margin. So I'm pretty much done with this added analysis right here. What I can do, since I might have a different level of licensing compared to one of the executives, I actually maybe want a little bit more functionality added on to what I can do with Target. So I can leverage what we call a smart pad over here. And it allows me to have a little bit of flexibility as far as adding an additional object into analysis, or maybe selecting some other dimensions and measures, whatnot, of what I can look at. I see right here as far as the actual products that Linda is moving. And what I want to do is just kind of see what the profit margin on those might be. So I'm just going to add profit margin to this analysis, and I'm going to fetch the data with this lightning bolt right here. If I wanted to try to find out what's going on with Linda, again, I'm here at this 17.7%. So I want to make this a little bit easier on my eyes. If I wanted to add an intelligent agent to this, suppose I wanted to add, whether I wanted to add a color agent or a particular icon or a gauge or maybe even change the background, I'm just going to add a simple icon here, maybe just a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Now, by default, Target is automatically going to assign any number that has a positive value with green here. So what I do know is that I need to keep my profit margin no less than 17.5%. So I'm just going to say for anything that's above 17.5%, we're going to go ahead and get that the green thumbs up. And then for anything negative, between negative, say anything below that 17.5, I'm just going to have that come up red. So gaining visibility into this analysis, I can see that she's really only having problems with these two items here. It looks like a black trim and a blue trim whiteboards. So everything else seems to be doing okay here, but it looks like I really kind of need to figure out what's going on with this profit margin. What I want to do at this point is maybe leverage Target's ability to monitor any number. And so what I want to do is set up say a notification agent. You can set up a notification agent on any number within Target. And in this instance, say that I want to be notified anytime profit margin changes at all, whether it goes up or down, more than even say 1%. And if I wanted to schedule this to go out to myself or other individuals, I certainly can, but I just want to be notified anytime this happens. So I'm just going to select my email. If I wanted to include anybody else on this email, I certainly could, and compose a custom text file and text message to this. And I'm simply going to click OK. And what happened right now is that this report is actually, or this alert notification is sitting on the Target AND server. And anytime the criteria is met where that profit margin changes, I'm going to be notified. Now, what I might want to do in this particular situation is try to gain some insight into maybe some other orders that might be pending out there that I don't yet have visibility in. Maybe there's some orders that were taken, but they haven't been posted and processed yet. So I want to see if there's maybe any outstanding orders that Linda Martin might have out there with some surprises as far as some negative trendings and profit margin. To add another element into this analysis, I'm just going to select another crosstab. And what I want to do is I want to look at some of the outstanding orders. So I want to look at my open orders and say I want to take a look at my order amount and the order profit percentage. And I want to be able to link this to Linda Martin. So I'm going to pick a salesperson as my dimension. And I also want to be able to look at the different items and whatnot. So let me go up to an item number and description. Maybe something like that would be good. So let me go to my products and let me go to say a product description and a product number. And what I want to do is move this down to this axis right here, just so that it can be a little bit easier in my eyes. And what I'm going to do is fetch the data. And it looks like here, as far as the whiteboards go, it looked like Linda Martin has a little bit over $13,000 in outstanding orders with a profit margin of 14.5%. So I know that taking some corrective action on Linda Martin's performance as far as profit margin is absolutely something I need to do. If I want to actually maybe drill out a little bit and find out what's going on with all of the outstanding orders that Linda Martin has, now I can see that she has about $39,000 in outstanding orders. Here's all of the different orders that haven't been posted yet. And her average profit margin is 18.6. So if I know that I can just correct the negative trending here on these whiteboards, I believe that we can get Linda Martin kind of going down the right path. Just kind of curious to see what John Roberts might be up to here. If I just want to see what John Roberts is doing. Looks like he has $52,000 in outstanding orders and a profit margin of just under 37%. So this John Roberts is certainly a rock star. He's an up-and-coming performer on my sales team. What this is telling me as a business analyst is perhaps I need to monitor my profit margin a little bit more closely on a daily basis and maybe even create a new analysis that I would want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build an analysis from scratch. and show you how I can create a dashboard that can be used throughout the organization and certainly by me as my efforts kind of focus on what to do as far as this profit margin goes. So this is a patented feature within Target. This is our decision search. This is our intelligent wizard. And in order to create a report or an analysis from scratch, you simply need to ask Target what you're looking for, just like you were in the office of one of your business analysts. So I'm simply going to ask Target and say that I want to analyze, and I want to analyze my margin by, say, salesperson. I want to do this by, say, the different products that I go to market with, and maybe the different periods. And if I happen to fat finger the keyboard, there's a level of artificial intelligence that's built into Target. So if I misspell something, it's going to know exactly what I'm still looking for. And there's also a level of of artificial intelligence that remembers the user's preferences. I'm just going to click analysis. And now I'm in an analysis that I can begin working within. If I want to filter this by certain criteria, all I need to do is click up here and add a criteria bar. And essentially I can add any dimension to this criteria bar to allow filtering. So for instance, I might want to bring up, maybe certain customers. So maybe I want to bring a customer name up there. All I'm going to do is drag and drop that. And I also want to be able to take a look at my posting periods. So I'm going to go to my posting periods, and I want to go to a little bit more of a hierarchy. So instead of dragging and dropping, I could also right click and just add this to the criteria bar. So I might want to make this a little bit more relevant. I see that I've did some great things back in 2006 through 2008, but I'm kind of trending a little bit down here. So just to make this a little bit relevant, I want to be able to have this dashboard just reflect the last 3 years. And as I do that, I can certainly see that I am beginning to trend down a little bit. If I wanted to add a regression into this particular object, I can see that I'm kind of missing the mark right here. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is something that I need to be able to monitor on a daily basis. So I definitely want to be able to save this analysis and use this moving forward. Notice that when I dragged this customer name up here, by default, it is going to add the full company name dimension to the criteria bar. So for whatever reason, if I wanted to sort by a particular company, if I just wanted to see what was going on, for instance, in this humongous insurance agency, then I would just select that, and you notice that all of these objects automatically updated. Or if I wanted to sort this by, say the number one company I have up here on the top of the list, this A-Datum Corporation, that everything in this analysis is automatically going to update. So it allows for very, very quick and easy filtering. I'm just going to select no selection here and go back to my regular look here on the dashboard. And what I want to do is I want to be able to save this. So I'm just going to save this right here. And I want to be able to put this in my shared folder. And I'm simply going to call this, let's call this margin points analysis. And I'm just going to save it. So right here in my documents that I have in my shared folder, I have this margin points analysis right here. Now this is something that I might want to add right into my sales tab. So this is my folder that I have the most important reports and dashboards. And to do that, I'm simply going to drag it and drop it up here. Now by default, it is going to take the name of the analysis that it sits right next to. So I'm just going to change the name real quick. And we're just going to call that margin points. And I'm just going to click OK. And now I have this dashboard up and ready for me at any time. And I've also got this in my shared folder here. So with anybody in the organization that I want to be able to share this with, it's quite easily to do so. So that's how easy it is to build a dashboard from scratch within Target. Now, let me talk about reporting a little bit. I know that everybody that I speak to still tries to get their arms around reporting no matter what kind of tools that they have in place. Now, at Target, we can take care of all of your core reporting needs. So for instance, any receivable aging or receivable aging history report we have here. I also have my typical profit and loss statement. So if I wanted to automate some of these functions for report distribution, I certainly can. Let me give you an example of that. Right here, this is actually tracking dynamic time periods. So as far as a variance goes, I might want to make this a little bit more relevant just for demonstration purposes. So let me just go back a year in time here. And now this is going to make a little bit more sense as far as my variance. I'm actually gauging 2011 versus 2012. And if I wanted to move some things around, I would just actually click this define button up here and just double click into this field and come back and fetch the data. And what we have done is we have integrated a band reporter with a crosstab. So it makes it easy to do any type of editing that I might want to do. For instance, if I wanted to drag my operational expenses up here, and if I wanted my maintenance expenses down here, and maybe I wanted my variance to be in this column, everything looks good, and then I could fetch the data. And then I have my report right here. And I could set this up for automatic distribution as well. So the ability to have that banded report writer integrated with a crosstab for editing makes Target a very powerful reporting tool. Now, if I wanted to, say, create a report from scratch, I'm going to leverage the intelligent wizard just like I did to build an analysis. And I'm simply going to ask Target, I'm just going to say that I want to report on my salespersons. And I want to be able to kind of group this report by the products that I have and margin. And I'm simply going to click report. I want to actually group this by the products that I sell so I can kind of stack the sales reps against each other with the different products that we have. And right now, within just a couple seconds, I've got a nice, neat 5-page report. I have my product number here and description of the different salespeople. If I wanted to pretty this up a little bit, I absolutely can. I'm going to hit the define button right here. And what I want to do is maybe add a little bit of a visual element. Say I want to add maybe a graph or a chart that I've got from an existing analysis. I'm going to move some of these fields around here as well. So let me just kind of move these down here. And what I want to be able to do is, say I want to include a graphical object here. So I'm just going to drag and drop that here. And I want to be able to have the sales per posting period chart that I had in my sales team performance analysis. I'm simply going to click OK. I'm going to size this up just a little bit, try to pretty this up. Now, this can absolutely be your corporate look and feel, corporate template, font, that kind of thing. And I'm simply going to fetch the data. And now I have a little bit more of that, graphical element in my report. It looks that I added a few pages, so I got a 16-page report here. And what I want to do is I want to be able to set this up for automatic distribution. So each one of my sales reps will get a copy of this report and only be able to view their information. To do that, I'm simply going to click File and Save. And I want this as, let's just say I'm going to call this just a weekly sales percent report. And I want to be able to keep this in my shared folder here. So I'm simply going to click Save. And what I'm going to do is set this up for automatic distribution and some type of batch reporting. But before I do that, I actually see that something kind of glaring here. I'm looking at this profit margin, and I see that one of these individuals, Richard Lum, selling this Athens desk, is trending a lot lower. A unique feature of Target is being able to click on any number within a report and hyper-relate to an analysis and be able to drill back into that report again. So I just want to kind of do something off the cuff here and find out what's going on with Richard Lum. If I want to be able to look ahead of time a little bit and gain a little bit of forward thinking, so to speak, there's no doubt that this profit margin per posting period is certainly trending down. So I might want to take a little bit of corrective action on Richard Lum as well. So I'm going to go back to this report. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up for automatic distribution. So we have a batch reporting feature that's very, very unique to Target. I'm simply going to come out here and I'm going to export this document. And I want this document to say go out on every Friday. And I want this to go out, say, at 7:59 in the morning, maybe. I want this to go out every week on Friday. And I want to be able to set this up for batch reporting. So I want every member on my sales staff to be able to get their own report. To do that, I'm just going to select that box. And I'm going to pick the recipients from my sales cube. Here they are here. And I'm simply going to click OK. So this report is not triggered yet, but it's ready to go at 7:59 every Friday until I turn this off. So what a great way to be able to automate reporting with Target. So you basically take a couple of minutes, set this up, and then you're done. I'm going to go ahead and run this report right now just to see what that looks like. And I can see that this already populated these reports. Everybody has their own style of report. So this is everything with this particular sales rep. And I have different ones for John Roberts and whatnot. So we can definitely take care of all your reporting needs within Target. Now, one last thing I want to show on this harbor cruise is how you can easily analyze maybe some information that is out of your data warehouse. So for instance, I am demoing off a cube here. I actually have two different data sources right here. I've got my AX cube and I also have some demo data. I've been demoing from this AX cube. You notice that I don't have any other content in here. What I do have is a file that's somewhat messy. I've got a sales file here, several thousand lines. It's just a flat file of different sales information for another company that maybe is a subsidiary of my particular company. So I've got different sales reps, different items that they go to market with. And in order for me to kind of make sense of this, what I'm going to do is drop this into our Crossbone server, which is automatically going to detect the different measures and dimensions that are associated with this particular flat file, all in a matter of seconds, and then I'm going to be able to see this in Target. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag and drop the files here. I now have a third cube. So this is that AX information. This is that sales information that was just in that flat file. And it automatically picked up different dimensions and measures. So if I wanted to, maybe do a quick ad hoc analysis with this. So I'm going to go down to the sum here, and maybe I want to be able to take the revenue. And what I want to do is I just want to add that as an object. And then I'm going to go up to my product group. I just want to maybe take a look at some of the different products that I go to market with. And I'm going to take my product group and I'm going to add this object to the analysis as well. And then I might want to take a look at maybe the different territories or different countries that I go into. So I'm going to go in here to my country territory, add that as an object. Last but not least, maybe I want to take a look at my sales reps. So I'm just going to add salesperson into this analysis as well. So now I have a 4-object analysis that I can begin whittling down and drilling down into information that I normally wouldn't be able to do just looking at that flat file. So for instance, if I just want to see what's going on with just North America, I would just click North America. And this looks like some data that we have from one of our subsidiaries that is a clothing manufacturer. If I just wanted to see what's going on, say within jeans within North America, then everything is going to automatically update. So Crossbones is a fantastic way to quickly and easily begin to analyze data that is not in your data warehouse. Well, thank you very much for joining. That was the Harbor Cruise of the Target 2013 Business Intelligence and Analytics Platform. If you need any more information, please feel free to contact us. We have our contact information at the bottom of our website here. And anything that you need, we have a wealth of information up here on our website, which is targit.com. You could just hit our Solutions tab and scroll by different industry, by different role, by different data source, and we have some pricing information as well. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.